I'm outside now with the Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi. Of course, before you head into the chamber, Minister, what can you tell us?
We're on to the mid-year review, as you're well aware. The economy is a significant issue for the country to be paying attention to. We have a positive report. One must consider the recent news in the context of what else is going on. I would just remind that the talk about gas and other productions are matters that the Minister of Energy will speak to, but it ought not to be lost on the population that there is gas contract renegotiation afoot, and one must be careful to appreciate shareholders' interest versus country's interest. So that's just a very carefully put statement on my part. For my part, of course, you know the Attorney General's office has an increase in allocations in respect of legal fees. It's a significant issue for the country at present. We'll be doing some reporting on value for money and, of course, not traversing matters that are inside of the court. Those are very serious matters that we obviously have to respect the separation of powers on. So I think that all eyes are on the Minister of Finance, and we expect to get a good report today.
We've had a former energy minister saying that that shortfall in production could possibly trigger a recession and further job losses and things of that nature. What is your take on that?
Do you expect Kevin Ramnarine to say anything else? He is a political opponent that has spent his entire political capital speaking doom and gloom from day one. What I find conspicuous is that Mr. Ramnarine is not talking about contract renegotiations in the round. Look, let's put things into context. Trinidad and Tobago is dealing with Atlantic in the trains. The LNG production is a matter of negotiation by the shareholders of those companies with the government. It is not uncommon for corporate interests to want to slingshot their interests by staging. And you stage by putting forward a particular narrative, because narrative affects price. It's called sharpening your pencil. It is, for those of us who are in the business world, something which is quite common. What we have to do is to call upon people with sophisticated understanding and general business minds to call a spade a spade. This is not necessarily what it is portrayed to be. The Minister of Energy will speak at length on this particular topic. I can only speak from my end of the equation with the factors that I consider.
Minister, will you say then that this situation is being blown out of proportion? Because we've spoken to some of the opposition MPs today, and they have this at the top of their agenda that they're hoping that the finance minister addresses once he takes the floor.
Nothing is ever blown out of proportion. The question is if issues are being considered in the correct context. So let us deal with it. We've taken oil and gas as a serious end of our equation. We are reporting to the country on that. It is for that reason that we've had diversification attempts. You've seen the Dragon deal, the positions with Venezuela. That's a negotiation with Shell. We have successfully, as the Minister of Energy reported, dealt with the renegotiation of Train 1. There are other trains to be negotiated, and you've got to look at that from a commercial understanding to see what the context is for that. So let's let the Minister of Energy speak to that issue in primary focus, and I'm confident that when it is all expressed in its correct way, that the population will understand that it has the best team fighting for the best purpose for it. I got to get into the chamber, so excuse me for running.
Thank you so much. Just speaking there with the Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi, and he has shed light on the BPTT issue, which we addressed earlier. Now, Minister A.G. Al-Rawi, is saying this is something that the Energy Minister will address. Now, it's literally down to time, and Parliament will begin shortly. So I will end here reporting live outside of the Parliament building. I am Janine Brown for TTT News.